good evening, District 7 and fellow Toastmasters, and welcome to another PRM Forum. My name is Fred Bergeron, and I am the District 7 Public Relations Manager. And I have one attendee tonight, a very good friend of mine from two districts we belong to, Melanie Chong. We're both members of District 7 and District 84. So some things I'm going to teach you about today. I'm not going to teach you how to be a videography expert, but rather on some fundamentals about using video to promote your club. Video is to have good sound, and I'm going to go over the fundamentals of both of those here. As you see on Melanie and I, our faces are lit up pretty good because we're using good lighting. And something else for video is to have good sound. And I'm going to go over the fundamentals of both of those here, starting with lighting. So most people don't know it's the placement of lighting that's more important than the type of lighting. So basically, where you're putting your lights is what matters most than the type of light you have. For example, as a photographer, I used to have, and still do have, ring lights. And then when I started jumping on Zoom calls, no matter where I put that Zoom light, you could see the ring lights in my glasses. So I had to come up with a different method of trying to use lighting. And you just saw me shift my glasses. So if you wear glasses like most of us, mine are just reading glasses, you can either remove them, tilt them down like I did to remove the glare, or get anti-glare glasses that you can get from Amazon. Also, that's why it's important to adjust your lighting, because it prevents the glare for people like me who wear glasses. Also, if you're recording on a computer and you're using an external webcam, you want to get one with an auto light adjustment, which is what mine has. It auto corrects itself to the lighting around you. And also, if you're recording on a mobile device, like a phone, you want to be in a well-lit area or use an external light source because you have such a small device to work with. So here we talked about placement earlier. Something I learned in videography school, especially if you're going to be on Zoom calls, is to use more than one light. I have two lights that I'm using right now, and the best place to put those lights are at the 10 o'clock position and the 2 o'clock position, which is where I currently have both my lights now. Where you don't want a light is dead center at the 12 o'clock position. I'm also saying this from experience because I had a lamp I used to have in front of me, and no matter what I did with that lamp or would even try to shift my chair around, because it was in the middle, the light wasn't equally balanced on my face, or one side of my face would have a shadow. So no matter what I did for computer adjustments, either on my computer, I could not fix that, or even on my camera. So I learned to get two lights and have them at the 10 o'clock and the 2 o'clock position. Now we're going to go into sound, which are microphones. And I'm going to show you on here 3 polar patterns for different types of microphones, starting with the cardioid mic you see here on the left. And it's called the cardioid mic because if you look at the picture, it looks like a heart. It's also called a unidirectional mic. And the reason why it's called that is because it captures sound directly in front and rejects sound 180 degrees behind it. So basically, it's made for just being right in front of you. Then there's a bidirectional mic, or a figure 8 mic, and that picks up sound equally in the front and the back, but rejects sounds on the sides. So if you've ever seen these microphones that podcasters use, they have one mic and they have one person on each side of the microphone. That's a bidirectional microphone. So that's what that's good for. And then there's the omnidirectional, which captures sound in all directions, 360 degrees. You're going to see these a lot with what they call lapel mics or lavalier mics. So that's what that's going to be good for there. And then proximity. Now, I know Melanie turned her video off. I was hoping she was going to read the definition of proximity, but if not, I can read it. Melanie, are you on to read the definition of proximity?
Sure, the nearness in space, time, or relationship.
Thank you. So this is a diagram of the different microphones I just showed you, and it shows you basically the location of where they should be placed when using these different types of microphones. And the only way you're really going to know what type of microphone it is if you read about it before you purchase it. What type of microphone you buy is totally up to you. It really depends on your budget or how you want to use the microphone. So just like lighting, the placement of your microphone is critical. You want to take a stab, Melanie? You don't have to turn your video on as to why you think the placement of your microphone is critical when it comes to video.
Well, if you're in the wrong spot, no one will hear you.
That's part of it. And depending on your microphone, you can get feedback or it can sound like you're spitting in the microphone as well. So that's one factor. All those play a factor. So there's really no right or wrong answer. So some more examples. Right here is a picture of the lavalier or lapel mics I was telling you about earlier, which are the omnidirectional microphones. So if you look, they have two different placements from which is the ideal placement if you're using a lapel or lavalier mic. So either in the center of your chest, or if you're wearing like a vest, you can put it right there on the lapel. Where you don't want these microphones is right there on the top of your neck. And I'm speaking from experience. If you do that, the sound's probably going to sound muffled or maybe breaking up, because if you think about it, you're not speaking into the microphone, you're speaking over the microphone. So either of those two locations, depending on what type of shirt or blouse you have on, is really how that's going to depend on how you're able and where you're able to clip it. I always recommend getting some type of collared shirt or blouse, or if you don't, maybe have a safety pin to put in the center or to the side of your shirt or your blouse. This is someone using a headset, which is typical for a lot of Zoom calls or people who podcast. Notice where he has the boom mic on his headset. Right there, right at his chin. That is the ideal location for those type of microphones rather than right next to your mouth. Because if you have it right next to your mouth, it's going to sound like you're spinning into the microphone. Or you heard the words before maybe called plosives. So when you say a lot of P words, the P's are going to really pop and probably overwhelm some of your words if you have it right there very close to your mouth. So it doesn't need to be right directly next to your mouth, just about chin level when you use that. There's an app that I like to use called Crisp. There's a free version and there's a paid version. Currently, because my computer did updates, I haven't been able to put Crisp back on my computer, but I am using the microphone that's built into my webcam right now. Right now, Crisp is only available on computer. It's not available on mobile. And if you get the paid version, it's $8 a month or $96 for the year. The nice thing about using the paid version is it has built-in noise reduction. So any surrounding noise around you, it will automatically remove it. So that's a good thing when you're using this app. And if you also look as well, it will find the microphone that you're using right here. You just pick the microphone, turn the toggle switch on, you're as good as gold. So I'm going to play another video for you. This is Donna Stark. She's going to be one of our presenters at the District 7 conference. This is a perfect example of a video promotion. Now, she's not promoting the club she's promoting her session in just under a minute. And she's using her cell phone. I know that because of how it's showing up on the screen. So we're going to listen to Donna Stark's promo video here.
Hey there, it's Donna. Have you ever had a moment when you said, someday we will look back on this and laugh? Yeah, me too. What if you could take those moments and use them to help engage your next audience? It has been way too long since we had an in-person district event, and I am looking forward to the D7 Spring Conference on Saturday, May 18th. I believe that every Toastmaster, that means you, can engage their audience using humor. And during the afternoon breakout session, you and I will explore how. Oh, and did you hear? Our keynote speaker is the 2004 World Champion of Public Speaking, Randy Harvey. I can't wait. I hope to see you there.
So if you noticed in that video where she had her lapel mic, it wasn't exactly on her, it was on the seat belt, which is pretty close to where her lapel is. And because it was low, she was speaking into the microphone. And you also saw that the lighting was very, very good. And she did that all on her cell phone, as you saw in her car. She wasn't driving, but she did that in her car, and you could see and hear her very well. So now this is where I'm going to ask if anyone has any questions. I'm going to stop sharing my screen and open the floor up to any questions, Melanie, that you may have about using video for your club or any of the slides that you saw. Take it away, Melanie.
The Crisp app looks really good. Maybe just if you can remind us of what's the difference between the free one and the paid one again?
I think the free one pretty much limits your time, your talk time. Like if you're on a Zoom call, it limits your talk time. And I'm not sure if the noise reduction is on there, but I do know it limits your talk time, where with the paid version, it's unlimited. So if you're in an hour-long Zoom meeting, I think it shuts down after like 20 minutes. And like Zoom, I think you can like restart it. That's the biggest difference I know is a time limit on the free versus the paid is the biggest difference that I know of. It's just the time limit on how long you're allowed to talk. So, and it's not that bad. I remember that I was using a cheap microphone one time. I paid like $20 for it. That made a world of difference because someone that gave me an evaluation in Podmasters said, "Man, why is your microphone so crisp?" No pun intended. But I told him I was using the app and my microphone. And then the following meeting, for some reason, decided to move my microphone a little bit further back because I was, I think, doing some work and I didn't need the microphone. And I forgot to move it forward. They said it wasn't so crisp. So then again, it goes back to the placement. You know, Chris was doing its job, but based on the type of microphone I had, the microphone had to be closer to my mouth than further away. So, like I said, it all works together with the proximity and the app. Like I said, the app can only do so much. Like I said, it was doing its job. I just had to relocate my microphone closer to me because of the type of microphone that it was. Now, I noticed you have a headset on. Is there a microphone anywhere on it?
There is a microphone here, but I don't use this as a microphone. I've got like one of those Yeti microphones. So it's got those 3 different settings that you showed earlier.
Okay, yeah, some of them have that where you can do change the settings. There's one I saw on Amazon that's a desk mic that you can change to omnidirectional or unidirectional. So if you're in a Toastmasters meeting and you're the Toastmaster, you can put it to unidirectional. But then if you're trying to project to the classroom and you have people behind the lectern that are speaking, then you can hear them as well. So that, those are good microphones as well. I like those separate microphones, but like I said, you don't have to buy anything expensive. If it works, keep using it. No sense reinventing the wheel. Unless you're trying to become a musician or professional podcaster, then slowly work your way up. But other than that, use what you got. Because the question I asked people, Melanie, when I did my microphone session is, what's the best microphone to use? You just have to make it work how you want to, utilizing some of the fundamentals that I showed you here. Same thing with video and photography. Ask me, what's the best camera? It's the one you currently have. You don't have to buy an expensive camera to take good pictures. You just have to master the fundamentals. So it's just like video. So do you have any other questions, Melanie, or are we about to wrap things up?
None that I can think of. I think I'm interested in the editing side, but I think the focus today was the fundamentals. So thanks for that, getting the fundamentals and sharing that with us.
It starts with the fundamentals. It all starts with, and Larry Bird has a saying about the fundamentals. That you have to master the fundamentals first. Well, thank you, Melanie, for showing up to my session. I'm Fred Bergeron, the District 7 Public Relations Manager.